Hey guys, Mahal everyone, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here. Welcome back again to my YouTube channel with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an overview for the next upcoming Lost Chapters, which features the return of our favorite operatic general from Final Fantasy VI, Celeste. And before I get started with this video, I do want to give you guys a small life update. Upon the making of this video, I was actually supposed to give you guys another Twitch stream. I ended up getting sick again, and I think it's actually bronchitis this time because I was having chills last night and I was coughing a lot, so I need to recover. I am still in high spirits, thank God, and I do want to still be able to get videos out to you guys in some way, shape, or form because, as you guys know, next week I'm going to be taking my hiatus because my wife and I are expecting our baby boy to be born anytime now, so got to give myself that break, but at least I want to give you guys updated videos and things like that before I do take that break. So thank you guys for staying patient with me and being so supportive. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this Lost Chapters that's going to be coming out for Global Opera Omnia featuring Celeste. So as we know with Lost Chapters, the character comes back. This time they are a permanent addition. We can permanently recruit them rather than missing out if you didn't get a chance to play through the event when Celeste first came out. So at level 60, when she gets awakened, she's going to be getting better stats and upgraded abilities. We're going to have a chance to earn green high shards from this Lost Chapters because Celeste is of the green crystal color. And Papalimo and Onion Knight are going to be joining her as a synergy to fight against the Excel Turbo boss. If you guys don't remember who that boss was, or you missed out on the event when Celeste first came out, it's essentially like a souped up Magatech armor boss, and that's what we're going to be fighting against for this Lost Chapters. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at her awakening upgrades, and we're going to start off first with her level 54 and 58 passive. At 54, she gets buff attack and boost up. This is essentially going to be an aura, giving her a 60% increase and 40% max brave increase while Celeste is buffed. So that's pretty good. It increases her offensive capabilities, even though we know that she is a magical tank. And then at 58, she gets buff boost and speed all. So this is going to be an aura to the party this time that's giving them a 20% increase to their max brave and also giving them a speed increase as long as Celeste is buffed. So I do like the auras that are coming from these passives because one helps her out and the other one helps herself out and the rest of the party. So that's pretty good. And then taking a look at her abilities, so we're going to take a look at what her abilities do first prior to awakening and then how it changes after the awakening. So before awakening, her ability 1 Shine Edge, and this is taking into consideration that you have the 15 CP passive with it, is a one-hit non-elemental magic brave plus HP attack. This ability has a 100% brave damage potency that also grants HP regen to Celeste based on 10% of her max HP for 4 turns. It also grants her a 20% max brave up for 4 turns, and after awakening, Shine Edge is now going to have an additional usage. It's also now going to be a 2-hit non-elemental magic brave plus HP attack with a 240% brave damage potency. It also heals Celeste's brave based on 10% of the HP damage she deals, and the HP regen and the max brave up buffs that she receives from this ability is going to be extended to 6 turns. So that's going to be the change there after the awakening for her ability 1, which is pretty good. Overall increase in damage, increase in hits, more ability uses, and also now it also heals her brave. It gives her a small heal to her brave, which is pretty cool. Alright, the second ability is going to be her signature move, which is called Runic Blade. Now, prior to awakening with the 35 CP equipped, it's going to be healing Celeste's brave based on 120% of initial brave. It also grants her 20% attack up for 4 turns, and also grants her that magic brave absorption unique buff for 4 turns, and it also provokes the target for 4 turns. Now this ability, after using it, also changes her Brave Attack to Brave Attack Plus, which is going to be a one-hit Ice Melee Brave Attack that has a 120% Brave damage potency. Now after awakening, Runic Blade is going to get 4 additional skill uses, which is quite a lot. It's also going to be changing the Magic Absorption unique buff to a stackable unique buff where it could stack up to 5 times, and each stack increases Celeste's max brave. At 1 it's at 40%, 2 50%, 3 60%, 4 70%, and 5 at 80%. And the stack increases for every magic brave attack that Celeste absorbs, and more than likely she's going to be absorbing it because don't forget she provokes the target, so the target has to attack her, and if it's a magic attack, well, they're going to be increasing her max brave and she's going to be absorbing that damage and adding it to her brave already. And then it also now changes her HP attack to HP attack plus, which is a one-hit non-elemental magic brave plus HP HP attack with a 100% brave damage potency. So overall, very nice upgrades to her second ability too. As we know, she is our magic tank, and this solidifies her even more now as a better magic tank. So is Celeste going to be a character for fun or for glory upon the release of her Lost Chapters and her level 60 Awakening? So with her Awakening, they really ramped up her role as our resident magical tank, because she's the only one that does that. So not only did she receive better damage with her abilities, she also got self-brave heals and now stackable unique buff, but she also received the amazing auras that I mentioned earlier, coming from her 54 passive, which increases her offensive output, and then her 58 passive, which is applied to the party. So that's really, really cool that she could do that with those passives. With that being said, however, even with these upgrades, I'm going to say it straight out that Celeste is the type of character that's going to be very niche because she's very specific in what she does. She provokes and she absorbs magic brave attacks. So those melee or those physical attacks or those range attacks, they're still going to get through. And now there are certain fights that she can help trivialize. For example, her own event, she makes it easy. There is a future event that I have talked about called the Ifrit Ultimate Trials, which we should be seeing within a few months from now on Global. That particular fight, Celeste makes it extremely, extremely easy if you have her built up. So she will fill her role in certain fights, but however, outside of that, tanks at this point in the game, they tend to slow down the party because they're there to protect your party, but they're not really there to like deal crazy amounts of damage. And the problem with that is that it slows down getting those high scores from, like, let's say a difficult event. If you're trying to get like a high score, you know, why would you put a tank on your team rather than going with like a high damaging party? Or for example, right now we have the chase meta, which is currently live because Lael got his level 60 Awakening in Global. So it doesn't really makes sense to use a tank unless you want to be creative with teams and, you know, try different team setups out, because I understand that, you know, with so many characters it gets really boring to use the same team over and over and over. So like I said, Celeste is more than likely going to be a character for fun, but for certain fights, if you do have her built up, she can trivialize them and she could be a character that's for glory. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the banner that's going to be going live upon the release of her Lost Chapters. So this is going to feature another EX weapon, which is going to be Celeste's EX weapon. It's called Stoneblade, and I did cover this particular EX weapon in a previous X Factor video, so you guys can check that out on my X Factor series. But anyways, the Stoneblade is going to give her a 5-hit non-elemental magic brave plus HP attack with a whopping 500% brave damage potency, which is very high considering that she's a tank. So I like how this EX ability actually deals quite a bit of damage, and it also grants her now a unique buff called Rune Knight, which, and also 40% attack up for 5 turns. And that Rune Knight unique buff grants Celeste a 10% magic attack up, brave regen based on 80% of her initial brave, and then HP regen based on 5% of her max HP. So quite a pretty powerful EX weapon there for our tank, and it really does complement her. It gives her more survivability, more sustainability, and a really high damage output. So the other weapons that are going to be repeating are 35 CP for Celeste, Onion Knight, and Papalimo, as well as their 15 CP. Now, should you pull on this banner, I'm going to repeat pretty much what I said on my X Factor video where I covered this. If you plan on using Celeste a bit more after the release of the Ifrit Ultimate Trials, then yes, I think this is going to be an EX weapon that you should try to get if you're going to be using Celeste beyond that. If you're only going to be building up Celeste for particular fights, such as the Ultimate Ifrit Trials or even her own Lost Chapters, I would say honestly hold off and save your gems, because there are better characters that are going to be coming out soon that feature other EX weapons that are much better to have over this one. But if this character also is your favorite, then by all means go ahead and pull. But that's just going to be my thoughts as far as whether or not you should be pulling on this banner for Celeste. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the boss, which is going to be the Excel Turbo. Again, it's that souped up Magatech armor. So for the level 100, we're only going to be fighting against one, not two, just one. This boss is weak to ice and water, it does resist earth, and it has a chase value of 40. And the chase value I'm referring to is essentially the hidden value that every enemy has of when exactly you're going to be able to perform the launch. And I do leave the link to the video about the chase mechanic in every video now on the video description as well as the pinned comment. So if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, be sure to check out the link to that video. And this boss uses primarily magic brave attacks, which is why Celeste makes it easy, and some physical brave attacks. So it does have some physical attacks, but for the most part, it uses magic brave attacks. Now, this boss can increase its own turn rate quite high with consecutive ability uses. So kind of like Lightning, the character Lightning, you know how she has a high turn rate, or let's say like Tidus whenever they use abilities, or another character that would be an example for this would be like Alice, who has like a higher turn rate whenever they're using consecutive ability uses. This boss essentially does that. So you want to watch out for that, because that means that this boss can build up its brave quite often because it's constantly taking turns. So that's going to be a little bit of the details there on the Excel Turbo boss. So some final thoughts and tips before going into the Celeste Lost chapters and before it goes live to global. The top artifact passives you want for her are Attack plus 108, Shine Edge Power Up 2-star, and Max Brave plus 330. Now, Onion Knight and Papalimo literally will help wreck this boss due to not only them being synergy, but the boss is weak to ice, as we did cover. And the boss is going to be a little tanky because we're only fighting one rather than two, so maybe debuffing its defense could allow your party to deal more damage. Or you could just go with the newly released Chase meta team, which will hands down wreck this boss. So an example of a Chase meta team is you want Lael awakened, you want Setzer, or you could honestly use another Brave Battery besides Setzer, like maybe Selfie, and then you want another Brave Battery on your team. I like to go Lael, Setzer, and Katesith, only because Katesith increases offense and increases damage. So if you go with that, the boss honestly is not going to be too difficult if you decide not to use synergy. And then later on, Celeste still has yet to see a rework and a level 70 awakening in the future. So building the character up, she's probably going to be benched again, like I said, unless you use her for specific fights where she helps make that event a little bit easier. But outside of that, she still has yet to see a rework in level 70. We may see it sometime soon if you guys follow JP. So who knows if the character will be a better investment later on. But for now, she's still our resident magic absorption tank with very niche uses. Alright guys, so following the discussion, let's go ahead and move towards my JP account visual gameplay showcase, where I'll be playing through the level 100 Lost Chapters for Celeste. That way you guys get a visual idea of what's to come for this event when it launches on global. Let's go ahead and move on to that. Alrighty guys, so here we are with my JP account. I'm going to be giving you guys that visual showcase for the level 100 Lost Chapters for the Celeste event that's going to be going live soon on Opera Omnia Global. Now, I am going to take the Synergy Party. I'll be taking Celeste herself, as well as Papalimo and Onion Knight. I'll be taking the Shiva Summon, and I don't know if you guys hear that, but it plays Celeste's theme, which is essentially the tune from the opera, which is super nostalgic. So I really like the musical choices that they used for this particular Lost Chapter. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, so what I like to do here is, since the boss is weak to ice, I actually will be using primarily, as far as Papalimo and Onion Knight, is their other abilities that don't have the ice element. So I save the ice element for the boss, and for Papalimo I'm using his Astral Fire, and then for Onion Knight I'm using his multi-hit. And that right there is Celeste's Shine Edge with the 55 passive, so as you can see it hits 2 times now, which is pretty powerful. I do like the upgrade that it got. And we have Onion Knight's EX ready. And for those of you that have Onion Knight built up, he'll definitely shine in this event when it comes out, since he is synergy, like I mentioned. And also, if you have his EX weapon, that's even more damage that he could dish out there. So have his EX and all of his gear, definitely build them up and use them for this upcoming Lost Chapters. As you can see, she's absorbing that magical damage, so all the boss is doing is increasing the stacks of Rune Knight and also building up Celeste's own Brave, which is pretty cool that her magic of Brave Absorption can actually do that now. Okay. Save some of our abilities for the next wave. Papalymo 2 will definitely shine, especially Papalymo in Global recently got an awakening, which made him even more powerful, so definitely great to take the synergy characters if you have them built up for this. Here comes the Excel Turbo. So remember, likes to use a lot of magical Brave Vitex primarily, and also with consecutive ability uses, this boss does get high turn rate. So you just want to watch out for that. Alright, let's use up the last Astral Fire. And the last multi-hit here. We're going to go ahead and provoke the boss with Runic Blade. Here we go. And now we have access to Blizzard combo. We're going to use all the Blizzard combos here. And actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and use his GX ability first. Okay, we're probably going to summon around the, maybe the 50-40% mark. Okay. And let's go ahead and Runic again. We're going to go ahead and summon. So again, for this, you'd probably want to bring Shiva just to abuse the boss's weakness, and also you get the speed blessing from Shiva as long as you meet the requirements. Or you could go with Leviathan too, since it's weak to water, or just even go with Ifrit or Bahamut. Summon wise, you could be a little bit more flexible since it only does resist Earth, so it's not too difficult. So we get to see Onion Knight's other EX. Remember, his EX changes depending on if he's Sage mode or if he's Ninja mode. be almost here. Right, this should finish it off here. There we go. Alright guys, well that is going to be the gameplay showcase for the upcoming Celeste Lost Chapters that should be going to global soon, very live soon. Sorry, can't string my words together. But anyways guys, thank you again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to try to get out as much as I can before I take my break to be with my wife and our upcoming baby boy. Again, this is 40 the Broadway saying stay tuned for the next one, and mahal everyone.